Hello, all you handsome people, and welcome to the channel. It's currently your boy Tasteless from the future. What's going on? What? Mind blown. Just wanted to add before, because I didn't put it in, I'm going to add some maps into this video so you guys know where the locations of the keys are. I talk about, you know, where to open the doors, where to stick your keys in to get that fat loot. So make sure you stick around to the end of the video to check those out. We'll be adding those. Apologies for the paint skills. I am not the best. These maps are near impossible to find, so honestly, I tried my best. Just whip some stuff up and paint for you guys, so enjoy that. Yeah. And also, guys, I just want to apologize for the mic because I know it's a bit echoey. I am working on that. I am trying to sort it out as fast as possible so that will get sorted. But anyway, leave you to the video. Hope you guys enjoy. Have a nice day. If you do enjoy, make sure you leave a like. Helps a ton. Hit that subscribe button because we got content coming out hot and heavy. So with that, enjoy the video. Peace out. Hello, all you handsome people. And welcome to another video from your boy Tasteless. Today on the channel, we're going to be talking about keys and all the useful keys within the game that we should be running, especially as a new player. Ones that will, you know, help you out, get you some easy loot. I'll be talking about better key. I know that people like Pesley and other people have done key guides. This is just a really basic key guide. I'm basically going to name the key, tell you what's inside the room, and yeah, so why you should have it essentially. So we're going to start with our favorite map. Oh, wrong button. We're going to start with our favorite map. Excuse the messy stash, but here we go. I've ordered all the keys, as you can see, and we're going to start here with customs. I haven't got all the keys I want to talk about. I will show you them on the flea market as we get to them, but I'm going to go through them in this order. So starting out with customs. When it comes to keys, this is the ultimate super duper key. This is the key that if you get it, don't sell it. If you can barter for it, do barter for it. This key is the best key on customs, right? It's the marked room key. We've got 25 uses. Obviously, it's located in 3-story dorms on the top floor at the far end. And opening this room is going to get you various weapons, stuff like that. You have a chance to get injector cases, dog tag cases. What else? We've got key card cases that spawn in there and ammo cases. So this key can net you a lot of money. I know for a fact that I have 100%, excuse the rubles in the top right, but I have 100% profited from this key. So yeah, definitely if you have it, never sell it. It's definitely worth using, especially if you run customs a lot. But I understand that as a new player or as a early game, you're not really gonna have the opportunity to have or use this key. But however, upon unlocking the flea market, we should always check jackets for a start. Actually, I just want to put it out there. We should always be checking jackets in dorms. But this is a key, and this works not just on customs. But next we're going on to the factory emergency exit key. Like I said, not just talking about customs here. This works also on factory. What this key does is essentially opens up an extract for customs, opens up extracts on factory, also opens up a little cut through near gas on customs, so you can get to the other side of the map slightly quicker. It's extremely useful. I don't ever go to customs without this key because it has saved my bacon a lot more than once. So definitely have one of these in your pockets. Moving on, we're going to go to the dorms, and as you can see, these blue ones, they're the 2-story dorms. We've got 110, 114, and 105. And all these keys go into 2-story dorms. So we want to be running these keys because these are indeed the safe keys. These keys are going to unlock rooms with safes in them. Can be extremely valuable. A safe is always worth it. This key, all 3 of these keys are definitely worth their money. You know, you're going to make a lot more money back. They're relatively cheap. You're always going to profit on safes. You find a line, you've already profited on each key. So, and that's going to happen. That's going to happen an awful lot. Also, if you're stuck like early game and you're still trying to find your USBs, safes are a great place to find them. So that's dorm 114, 110, and 105 for those. Moving on to the 3-story dorms, we've got 2 safe keys there, 204 and 214. Now, one of these keys, I believe it's 204, is a weapons safe. So at the top, it's like a big long blue thing, and at the top is the safe, and you can also open it up. There's sometimes Mosins, VPOs in there, stuff like that. If you check the back of the room, there's a suitcase. There can be random loot spawned there. Like I believe it's a med spawn So you can find stims, you can find saluas, stuff like that. You know, so make sure to always check that out. You can also find bullets and ammo sometimes in there. And last but not least, moving on, we've got the gas station office key. Now, if you ever find yourself in gas, you notice that inside gas there's a little door and there is two locked doors. One of them's a med bag. Not that interesting, it's just a med bag inside. Not really worth it. But the other one is, like I said, another safe key. So, you know, always, if you ever find yourself in gas, just run in, pick up the safe, get some juicy loot and get out. You know, it's always worth checking safes. No harm, no foul. So, moving on. We're going to move on now. We're going to go to reserve. As you can see down here, I don't own many reserve keys. But starting off, we've got the RBVO. And I will also show you guys the RBBK. So let's do it this way. Should be a lot easier. Sorry if you can hear my keyboard, the clickety clack. Here we go. We've got the RBBK mark here. I found one of these is white. I sold it back in the beginning. But yeah, so these are both the marked rooms on reserve. So are these keys worth it? Yes, they are worth it. Marked room keys are always worth it. It's just a, you know, a bit of extra loot. It's relatively easy to get to. Both of them, you usually spawn. You can get quite lucky and spawn really close to them. So they're definitely worth it. They're super cheap. Like I said, super cheap mark rooms. Unlike the dorms one, which right now is very, very hard to obtain. Only through barter, which is extremely expensive. Unless you get lucky or find it in a jacket. Once again, get lucky. So we've got the RBBK and RBVO keys. These are worth it. These are worth taking to reserve. Moving on, we've got the... I'm not sure if I've actually owned this one either, but we've got the RB SMP key. Now, this is an expensive key, I do believe. Yes, I have not found this one yet. I also believe it's a required key for a quest. I believe the quest is called Diseases. But in this room is med spawns. Fairly decent med spawns. You're going to get good meds most of the time. 100 uses out the key. You're going to make more than, you know, 15k. So it's you're definitely going to make your money back each time. And you're going to find stuff like Propitals, Saluas, stuff like that in there. So it's definitely worth getting this if you can, if you do have it. Obviously, it's a very expensive key, but that's definitely a reserve key to check out. What I'll do is I'll bunch up at the end. I'll put all the keys together and then I'll put them on like a screenshot so you can save it. So moving on, we've got the RBST. Once again, another very good key. This is quite an expensive one. No offers on. So we've got any barters. So we've got a few barters. What this key is to the caged area for the house key as well. I just got one of them. So inside this room, you're going to find tank batteries and phase arrays, so aces. So quite decent loot inside. Not always, but quite a lot of the time. So fairly good key there as well. If you get it, definitely worth running. Quite a hard key to obtain. As you can see, there's literally none on the flea market up for sale. They are all barters and they all are bartered for very expensive items. So if you do get one, you know, think about it. Definitely worth taking onto reserve and using that. Moving on, we do have another key that I do own. It is the KPRL. I do actually own this key. We could look at it that way, but we'll look at it this way. This key's fairly expensive as well. I know these keys are quite expensive, but you know, it makes you the money back. This key, you have potential to find intel in the room. You've got 100 uses. You're definitely going to find intel in one of those 100 uses, so it's definitely worth taking. Definitely going to profit off this key. You can also find weapon crates and a safe. There's also a PC inside the room. It's up near the satellite, so definitely worth taking. If you've got the money, if you've got the cash to flex, take one of these keys in. Like I said, I'm not going to name all the keys, but now moving on, we've got the PSP keys, like PSP1, PSP2. I do actually own PSP1 and PSP2. Not only that, you've also got the, what are they called? The, I believe it's PS81, RBPS81. Basically what they are, they're essentially locked gates underground. One of them's across from one of the marked rooms. So those kind of locked gates that you see just kicking around reserve. What you want to do is you want to open those up, and inside there's going to be shared loot. So obviously there's shared loot pools, and inside there's going to be stuff like tech, meds, rations, stuff like that. So not too much special, but you know, it's decent loot, and these keys are fairly cheap. I don't know why there's none up on the auction house right now. Say auction house, flea market. There should be. This is around 200k, and I believe the other one's not actually that expensive. I guess they're super rare at the moment. So I might be able to barter mine for quite a fair price because I don't play much reserve. But moving on, we're going to move on to the RBRLSSA. I believe I owned this key. It might not have been on, it might have been on my scav. I'm doing a scav series, so it might have been on that one. LSSA. Am I typing it wrong? Maybe there's none on the market right now. But there is a key also for reserve. I know it's quite useful. I'm an idiot. Here we go. The RBRLSA, not SS. And that key, 200k. You're going to find intel, you're going to find military items, so military spawns, you know, M filters, stuff like that inside this room. Fairly cheap, definitely worth picking up if you're playing a lot of reserve. Next key we're going to go on to that I believe you should always take to reserve is not the drop down room, but the room below that, the RBAM. Inside this room you will find intel, fire steel, toolboxes, and once again military spawns. So that's also an extremely useful key. And with that, that'll be the reserve keys done. So I will actually put up the keys you need right now. You should be able to see them on your screen. And there you go. They're the keys you want to take to reserve. Moving on, we are going to go to Shoreline. Everyone loves a bit of Shoreline. I hate this map. It is god awful in resort. Everyone just camps in rooms. But anyway, let's move on. So we're starting off with the obvious, the tape key, Sanitar's room, you know, LEDX spawns, med spawns, stuff like that. Very easy to find. Handprint on the door next to it, so you know which door it is. Just open that up. In the shower you could find LEDXs. Near the desk there's med spawns, stuff like that. I used this key before. This is my second one of these. I am yet to find a LEDX. I am not going to lie, it's not been too lucky. I did get rid of the other one. I dropped it to a friend when I found this one. I think I had about 28 uses on it. So yeah, 28 uses, no LEDX, but you know, out of 100 uses you should usually find a LEDX. So we're going to move on to the 222 key. This also combines with the 226 key. You can get to, you know, you only need one of the rooms. You can get to both rooms. In these rooms there are multiple LEDX spawns, weapons boxes, and weapon parts. So these rooms are really good. This is actually the room where I have seen the most LEDXs personally. So yeah, definitely take this. I don't know how expensive it is. It's very, very cheap, so it's definitely worth taking. So there we go. That's the West 226. Next, I want to talk about this key, the HEP key. This is for the power plant. This key is underrated. This key is rarely used, okay? If you're near the power plant, go and loot with this key, because inside you're going to get intel, you're going to get weapon attachments, there's weapon crates, stuff like that. And like I said, it is rarely looted, so it's definitely worth. I think you actually get this key from a quest, so it's definitely worth, when you get this key, just sticking it in your sit case, sticking it in your docs case or whatever, your key tool, and using it, because it is super good. Moving on, we've got the 310. As you can see, the 310, absolutely beautiful key. This key is lovely. This key opens up the valuable room. So what we got in there, we got the chance to have bitcoins, you got the chance, you know, skulls, all your pro kills, stuff like that. Valuable spawn in this room, top floor, east side. So above the sanitar room on the 3rd floor. There we go, we'll put them up, align them nicely. And yeah, there's also a couple of duffel bags in here that you want to loot, but predominantly you want to go in there, you want to check, I believe it's the desk in front and the bed for valuable loot spawns. So it's definitely worth having this key. This key currently 70k, very cheap, and you're going to make your money back extremely fast with that one. Moving on, we've got West 216, which I sadly don't own. Let's have a looky here. Looky. 216 West. Oh, why is this still like this? Boop. The flea market seems to be broken. West 216. Is it because I'm doing it like that? Here we go. West 216, 450k right now. Extremely expensive, but it's very, very good. You will find in here LEDXs. You will find M4s. You will find valuable loots. You will find grenades case, a weapons box. So all this stuff, that is why this key is so expensive. Like I said, 100 uses as well. You can't forget you got 100 uses out of this, and the chance that it's 450k. A LEDX costs $1 million, so it needs to work once, right? This key has potential. This key has so much potential to get some really good stuff out. So it's definitely worth picking this bad boy out. Moving on, we got 301. Not sure if I own this one, so we'll just look it up quick. 300k key in this room. We're looking at LEDXs, GPUs, a couple of PCs and stuff like that. Kind of in the middle upstairs on the west side. Easy to access. Like I said, you can find textures, stuff like that in there. So it's a very, very good room. 300k, is it worth it? Yes, it's worth it. So I would take this key every time I go there. Moving on, we got the cottage key. I have found one of these. This wipe, they're expensive. We've got the backdoor key, 400k, and the safe key. What this is going to do is allow you into a Sanitar's house. I believe it is Sanitar's house. You get to go inside the cottage. There's a couple of safes in there. And with this safe key, you're essentially doubling the amount of safes you can have. You go from 2 to 4. That's going to open 2 extra safes for you. So that's very nice. Always worth looting. And yeah, with safes, you can't go wrong. You're always going to make your money back. 400k, you know, together they're 500k. That's, in my eyes, relatively worth it. So that's Shoreline done. Moving on from Shoreline. Now we've got the 2 easy ones. So we've done Shoreline, we have done Reserve and Custom. So now we've got the last 2 maps that I'm going to do keys on, because essentially, let's be honest, Factory, you don't need keys. If you run in Woods, you should have 1 key and 1 key only. Actually, okay, fair enough. You should have 2 keys, ZB0014, I believe it's called, the extract. And if you really fancy, you know, risking your life for subpar loot, then you can always go with a German dash key. But apart from that, there's nothing really to shout about on Woods. So we're going to put that back in there. Labs, if you're running labs, obviously key cards, all the key cards, definitely worth it. You've got the Labs Arsenal storage room key and the manager's office key. Nothing really to shout about. Not really too fussed about those keys right now. So we're going to concentrate on the other 2 maps, which are Lighthouse and Interchange. For Interchange, you want to be running the Ultra Medical Key if you ever find it, or if you fancy buying it. This is super cheap. It started off at 2 to 3 million at the beginning of the wipe, dropped down to 570k. That's a fair price for it. Opportunity to find med spawns, so you've got stuff like LEDXs, things like that, Slowas, IFAX, AFAX, all sorts of bits and bobs, med bits. You're going to make a decent amount of money each time you go in there. Obviously, the power needs to be on. But it's definitely worth if you play a lot of Interchange, then it's definitely worth investing in this key. Same with the Emicom key. This key is even cheaper. This is 80k. I have found a LEDX in this room. You know, it's ridiculous. You're not always, you got to bear, okay, fair enough. You're extremely loud. You're extremely loud when in Emicom, right? Because you're on metal all the time. Everyone and their nans can hear you. But you have an opportunity to find a LEDX. Not saying you will find a LEDX. I'm just saying it's an opportunity to find a LEDX. There's 3 exits, so you know you're not trapped in there. Essentially, if someone's holding one of the doors, try and go out another one. So yeah, it's a good key to have. It's very cheap, definitely worth taking. I don't have the Kibber outer key, but the Kibber inner and outer key, they both are definitely worth taking. Obviously, inside you've got lots of weapon parts. Static gun spawns if you're lucky, especially modded guns. You can get modded AKs, modded M4s. I am not sure about this, but it used to be that the T7 thermal night vision goggles spawned in there. I'm not sure about 12.12. I can't 100% say that they will spawn in there. I haven't seen them because I haven't opened it that much, and I have never seen them anyway, but I've also not seen any videos on it. So don't take my word for it. I'm just saying this used to be a thing. Yeah. So that's pretty much the Interchange keys. you want to run. I believe the other Kibber key, let's take a look. That one's from a quest, and then the other Kibber key, we go here. Oh, not bib. Kib, there we go. Outer door key, 300k. Inner door key, 60k. So it's definitely worth. You're definitely going to make your money back off these keys for sure. If you run Interchange a lot, it's worth taking. The last and final thing I want to talk about on Interchange is this electronic key card. I believe it's this one or this one. I can't remember which one it is. Let me have a look for you real quick. So yeah, it's in #21. This key card is essentially, I believe it's 15 uses. Yeah, 15 uses. And what it's going to do is going to open up inside the garage. Inside the garage, it's below Interchange. It's going to open up an extract, killer's extract, essentially. Inside that room, there is a lot. So you basically go upstairs into one of the toilets, you swipe the card, it opens up the door to the extract. You run all the way to the extract, you pull the lever, and it lets you out. Inside that room, there's valuable spawns, there's weapon spawns, there's usually really good loot in there, like moonshine, whiskey, stuff like that. So it's really good loot. So I believe that for 300k this key, if you run Interchange, this is worth it. 15 uses, you're going to make more than 300k from that room alone. So it's definitely worth it. Plus you also get an extract that not everyone has the ability to use. So it's super handy. This is definitely worth getting. This, every time you run Interchange, definitely worth using. So that's Interchange. Once again, I'm going to bring that up on the screen like the other maps. Now, moving on, what we got here, we got Lighthouse. On Lighthouse, we've got the 2 safe keys, the USEC safe keys, the safes found in, you can find in the big houses. These are usually unlooted. Not a lot of people loot them. Even once they've looted the big houses, you know, they've cleaned out the houses, there's no loot left. You're like, oh, what can I do now? Well, you've got the safes. Safes are always worth it. Always worth looking at. So I've picked up these keys for when I play Lighthouse. I actually found them both, which is quite lucky. So yeah, these keys are definitely worth looking at. You've also got the 2 keys that I have not found yet, and that is the USEC stash key and the rogue stash key. Or is it this one? No, it's these 2. So it's the rogue and USEC stash key. Okay, guys. Now these are in the rogue compound. These 2, and what they will do is allow you to open up their stashes, which are usually pretty good loot. You know, you've got the chance to get tank batteries, high value weapon parts, stuff like that. So it's definitely worth, they're not expensive, definitely worth picking these 2 keys up. The other key, it's a notable mention, but I would not recommend it. I've had this key, I got rid of this key. This key, everyone seems to complain about it. Is it like this? Let me try and find it. Sorry, guys. There might not be any on the market. I don't think there's any on the market right now. But the Hilltop House key. Now, this is a very controversial key. If you have it, personally, I would barter it for a Merrin key, which I did exactly that. The Merrin key, you're going to profit. Yeah, the Merrin key is the better key out of the 2. You're more likely to find decent loot, you know, in the back of the car. This is obviously the other key that we're going to talk about. This is the key that I believe you should have if you play a lot of Lighthouse. Then you should work your way to get into Merrin key, because this is a good key. You know, it did get nerfed. Yes, the loot isn't always as good, but you're going to average like 150k a time times 100. That's a lot of Wonga at the end of the day. Whereas the Hilltop House key, or the Hillside House key, or whatever it's called, it's just not as good. It's just not as worth it. You know, you don't find as loot as often. Sometimes it can be completely empty. It's not great. It's too hit and miss. So I would say avoid the house key. If you do get one by finding it in a raid or whatever, trade it in for the Merrin car key. That's definitely a trade that's worth it. So yeah, I'll put those keys up on the screen right now, and with that, that'll be the end of the guide. Like I said, I'm not going to go through every single key in the game. This is not a key tier list. This is not a key comparison guide. This is not, you know, this is just the basic keys that you should have or work towards when starting up the game for, you know, a newer player to say, okay, I recognize that key, and to take it into a raid and not sell it. That's what I'm trying to do, raise awareness, because I know me personally, when I was a newer player, I was picking up keys and I was just vendoring them to therapists without any idea what was going on. So before you do that, just check if you've got any of these keys sitting around your stash, you know, where to use them, how to use them, and yeah, or even buy them, because a lot of these keys, you know, they seem, the loot inside them, like this key, you can get a lead axe, right? Lead axe has paid for this key like 10 times. It's ridiculous. Or 5 times. So you buy the key 5 times over for the price of a Linux. So it's definitely worth just checking out some of these keys. A couple of them are quite expensive. I don't expect you guys to go out and get all these keys, like the Dorms Mark key. Sorry about that. You're not going to get the Dorms Mark key. That's a hard one to get. But if you do manage to stumble across it, it's definitely worth using. Yeah, these are the keys that you should be having, should be running when you play these maps. And of course, there are other keys that you can get that open other bits and bobs, especially on reserve. We didn't talk about all the reserve keys, but I'm just saying the most notable loot areas that you can go to. So yeah, with that, that's the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day, and see you next time. Peace out, guys. Hello once again, it's Tasteless from the future. What? My head exploded? No way. I'm just kidding. I just want to say thank you so much. Like I said, here are the maps. I'm going to bring them up now for you guys. Check them out. It shows you all the locations for all the keys you should put in. I tried my best. Honestly, it's hard to do something like that because there are very few maps out, and the resolution's always really pants. So I tried my best. Did it in paint. Not going to lie. Hope you guys get the gist of things. Wow, this video is 30 minutes long. I didn't think I could babble for this long, honestly. What the hell? I didn't expect this. I expected this to be one of my faster videos, to be honest. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like. Hugely appreciate it. It helps me so much. If you got any questions or anything else, make sure to leave a comment, and I will answer you. I answer absolutely everyone that leaves a comment. And of course, if you're interested, it helps a bunch. This channel is growing. I want this channel to explode. I love making Tarkov videos, and I love being there for you guys and helping you guys in any way I can. So please hit that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button. Let's get to 500 subscribers. Like I said, 500 subscribers, another big giveaway. Let's do it, boys. Come on. And one last thing I wanted to say. Yeah, I will be every now and then. I haven't got a schedule yet, but I will be streaming on Twitch at twitch.tv/tasteless, just like the channel. So if you're interested, come check that out. Make sure you come check that out because we have a wicked fun. I'm currently trying to kill every single scav boss. I'm doing it on stream. I am not having fun doing it. I have lost millions of rubles, but we will get there. We will get there. So with that, anyway, hope you guys have a nice day and peace out.